Hey guys, it's Mark for Ableton Daily. Happy New Year, everybody. I wanted to make a tutorial for those of you that are staying inside tonight on New Year's Eve. Now, this sound is inspired by dubstep, drum and bass type music, and I didn't want to call the tutorial dubstep bass or drum and bass bass. I just wanted to give it a preset name. So I could call it Proton bass, and so I've called it Proton bass just to give it a name, because I'm sure in the future I will have mini bass tutorials, and I didn't want all the tutorials to be called dubstep bass or drum and bass bass. So I have to give my bass sounds names, and so that's what I'm doing here. And you can download this project file by going to abletondaily.com, and you'll find the little project files there. So to really give you a little bit of inspiration and some ideas on how this sound can be used, I just whipped up this little drum and bass track thing. It's not even a big track or anything. I've never created drum and bass before. I listen to it sometimes though, but I've never created a drum and bass track. So don't laugh at me. This is just to give you a little inspiration when using this sound. And so I'll go ahead and rewind this back and let's go ahead and check it out. Okay, there you go. And this sound was entirely made with the analog instrument with the help of some effects plugins, such as the Coarse, just to widen and fatten the sound a little bit, and then an EQ here. Had to do quite a bit of EQing just to bring out some of the highs in the sound, but that's pretty much it. Well, if you guys are ready, let's go ahead and get started. All right, we're going to start off with a new MIDI track. You can right-click here in the arrangement view and select Insert MIDI Track, or you can just come up here to the Create menu and select Insert MIDI Track from here as well. And after you've made this track, go ahead and arm it. Arming the track will allow us to hear the instruments on the track. And over here on the live devices, inside the file browser, go ahead and expand the Instruments folder. And if you have analog, you should see it right here. Go ahead and click and drag it into the Instruments and Effects Dropbox right here. All right, and you should hear the stock default sound that it has. And I'm going to move through here pretty quickly and show you the settings that I use to recreate the sound. Over here on Oscillator 1, let's go ahead and click here. Over here where it says F1 and F2, well, we want to send this oscillator to filter number 1, which is right here, but we want to send it only to filter number 1 100%. See, it's currently set to 50-50. So go ahead and click here with the mouse and drag up until it says F1. All right. And for the shape, we can leave this at a sawtooth. That's just fine. Octave control, semitone, detuning, you can leave all this the same as it is. Let's move over to filter number 1. Go ahead and turn this on. And for the filter type, let's go ahead and leave this at a low pass 12 dB, which is the default setting. And where it says 2F12, we want to send some of this filter to the filter number 2, which is down here. Go ahead and click here and turn this up to 100%, just like that. All right, now for the frequency cutoff, you'll want to tinker with this after you have created the sound. But for right now, let's go ahead and turn this down somewhere around 600. Perfect. Over here on the resonance control, Let's go ahead and turn this up a little bit, somewhere around 30%. Okay, and we can go ahead and hear the sound now. Okay, it's just the basic sound with the sawtooth wave shape and with the filter cutoff being applied to it. Over here on the amp number 1, go ahead and click here. And we're going to want to change this sustain a little bit because the sound, just to make the sound a little bit more consistent. So I'll go ahead and click here on the envelope, right here, and move this all the way to the top. Okay, we have a little bit of a release on that envelope there. So what I'm going to do is just decrease this a little bit. This way, when I release my finger off the keyboard, the sound will stop. Okay, let's go ahead and come right down here to oscillator number 2. For oscillator number 2, we're going to be sending this also to filter number 1 at 100%. So let's go ahead and click here, drag the mouse up till it says F1. Okay, over here on the shape, set this to a square wave. And then for the octave, let's go ahead and take this down 1 octave. So -1, and the semi and detuning, you can leave this the way it is. And let's jump over to filter number 2. Let's go ahead and click here and turn this on. And let's select for the filter type, a low pass 24 decibel filter.